If I could describe this record in just one song, it'd be this one. It manifests everything that I was feeling about like the internet and Generation Z as a whole and how that affects how we treat other people in society. Like a picture on your phone so your self-esteem won't tear. It feels as if sometimes we like pictures on the internet, not only because we like them or maybe because we find them interesting, but the flip side of that, it seems, is that we only do it so we don't hurt the other person, as if we feel like an obligation to like give them that serotonin boost. And maybe that's just being a good friend, but other times it feels like it's done out of like pity, and that's just not sincere, which is what I'm getting at this whole thing. Comment phony compliments so you can make it seem you care. It seems like people are commenting just to comment, you know, it's not actually a meaningful thing, but just a participation point to show that they care, which maybe they do, but sometimes it seems like they don't, which is where this whole song is coming out of. Post it, share it so they can see how much fun you can really be. Link a video so they believe it. Validation, that's the spirit. We have this video camera in our pocket and we can just record anything that happens around us, and whether or not, you know, we're supposed to be doing that is up for debate. It seems like a flex culture sometimes where people are like, look what I can do, especially with vloggers these days. It's definitely not healthy for young minds to be thinking about like, oh, I wish I had all this materialistic things, because it's not about materialism. I'm longing for a serenity. I want you to be sincere to me. I wish you'd look at when I'm speaking. God help us, must be dreaming. It seems like that we have this whole movement of insincerity because people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, and maybe I'm just an asshole, but picture perfect, but you're still apathetic. You're begging for attention, oh how self-absorbed, and I care. This line refers to the paragon that people are supposed to look a certain way, but setting unrealistic expectations, which then in turn turn into insecurities. And this verse ends with, and I care, in a sarcastic manner, because I feel like a hypocrite just talking about us. Buy me a new relationship so my friends know they should stay. This lyric comes from my little sister. One day she came to me and she was like, Nick, can you buy me new friends? And I thought to myself, that's kind of a really horrible way of thinking, that materialism is equatable to a sincere friendship. Crooked thoughts tuck so deeply so they know to go away. But you say you want to die, but only when it's convenient, feeling lower than you're really, though I know you'll never mean it. There's this ironic saying where saying that you want to die, but you don't actually want to die, you're just not pleased with the situations that you're handed. And it's almost demeaning to people who actually have mental illnesses and feel like they have nothing, for you to go and say, oh, this slight hardship that I'm going through right now is making me want to not literally be alive and exist anymore, because that's just, it's not right. I don't agree with it. Algorithmic anxiety, blurred visions of reality. To testify your sanity, habits of inhumanity. Everyone nowadays has some form of anxiety, and rightfully so, because I feel like the media just like blasts us with all this information that's super scary, and it comes from like this whole thing of like pushing a political agenda. Coherent self-obstruction, impulsive self-destruction. Why? Hello media, here's a mind ready to be abducted. This whole internet thing, it feels like it's definitely man-made, and we go out and pursue it ourselves, but it also, I see a lot, it brings us down with our esteem. Please accept that you represent identity's demise. You're a fuel for the addict, and the dopamine's your supply. Instantly gratified, you mistakenly plant the seeds. Please fuel my esteem like my generation needs. This whole part's an open letter to the internet itself, telling them that they're basically like a drug dealer to dopamine, and our entire generation is just the people picking up the goods. You know, the whole thing with instant gratification and just like feeling like you need things now, and then when you don't get them now, your dopamine levels drop, and then that's why we have all this like anxiety and a cultural depression basically. And I'm not saying it's necessarily all blamed on the internet, but it's certainly not helping.